Cowboy Up America, it's another day in Tennessee. The sun's coming up. Sorry about the sun shading and the brim of the cowboy hat, but that's the time we're selecting to record this video. Cowboy Up America, there's a number of things that we're watching. One of the things that we're watching and trying to poke the bear in the state of Oregon is this issue about the cowboy hat. Rick Steber wants to wear a cowboy hat in the Oregon voters pamphlet. This is something we're not going to give up. Why? Because the cowboy hat is a traditional American symbol of hard work, looking out for your neighbor. The American West has a unique heritage and story to tell about hard work, about helping each other, about building something great. That is intrinsic to the American West story. And the iconic symbol of the American West is the cowboy hat. I think it should be permissible in the state of Oregon to have a cowboy hat in the Oregon Voters Guide. Cowboy hat, Oregon Trail. What's wrong with that? So how about legislators in Oregon? If you're a legislator in the state of Oregon, how about we introduce a bill to change the one passed in 1965 that was kind of, according to the Statesman Journal, kind of a joke, to take a look at toupees and hats, not having them on pictures of candidates in the voters pamphlet because they didn't want to sway the voters. Well, what's wrong with somebody saying, this is who I am? I'm a cowboy. Rick Steber's cowboy, wrote 50 Western stories. What is wrong with him having a cowboy hat in the picture? That's who he is. That's his identity. We're gonna continue to push this story. There's so many other things going on in America today. Let's talk about, I think the biggest thing on our mind right now is democratic socialism. There's a lot of younger people that are saying, hey, things are in such disarray, things are in such a mess of America, we don't like leadership. Let's just turn over the apple cart and start over again. Let's bring socialism and communism into America. What is the saying in communism? Essentially what it is you take everything and distribute it evenly. Here's the problem with that. Although it sounds good that everyone will benefit from everyone's wealth, you lose the reward. That's what makes the free enterprise system work. Because if I go out today and I work hard and I have a good idea, and by the sweat of my brow and the work of my hands, I make something and I profit from it and I make money. I'm rewarded for my initiative. I'm rewarded specifically for my hard work. Socialism, communism does away with that. Because you have a hard-working person going out there, working hard, and the person who benefits is the one staying at home playing video games all day. So what happens is you disincentivize the hard workers of society to build society. They go out and build it and work hard and work every day. And from the ability of many to the deeds of everybody. So you take from the hard worker and give to the guy at home playing video games all day. That will disincentivize society. Tell me, in the words, there was a story we saw the other day from CNBC. Asked Democratic Senator Lisa Blunt Rochester, tell me where in the world socialism has worked. And she laughed and snickered and said, okay, we'll talk later about something else. She avoided the question. She avoided the question, a direct question from the CNBC host. Tell me where in the world socialism has worked. Sorry you can't see my face. Where in the world socialism has worked? No place. Venezuela, Cuba, North Korea, North Vietnam, Russia, China. Freedoms are taken. And you're told that the government knows better than you what to do, and the government's going to take your money and distribute it to everybody. And you see that the party members in those parties are the ones getting wealthy. Look at the history. Look at the uprising in those countries, like Cuba, like Venezuela. The party chairman And those high up in the socialist Communist Party, the ones getting wealthy, and the serfs on the lower level just working and giving all their money to the government, it doesn't work. Graft and corruption takes root. There's no accountability. That's one of the wonderful things about the representative democratic system in America. There's accountability. You have to be accountable to the people for what you're doing. That's why, with all its warts and failings, that's why I love the representative democratic system in America. Yes, we have issues. They say making laws is like making sausage. You don't like to see what's going on. But in that mess, in that discussion, the people have a voice. We, the people of the United States of America, in order to form a more perfect union. This is a work in progress. This perfect union isn't here yet. It's a work in progress. But we, the people, have the say. The big three words. We, the people of the United States of America. We're rewarded for our hard work. We're rewarded for initiative. We're rewarded for the sweat of our brow. You're not rewarded under communism. They just take it from you and give it to the guy at home playing video games. So nobody can answer that question. Where has socialism and communism worked? And what you're hearing from many young people is, oh, well, let's just try this. Talk to anybody that has lived through socialism and communism, and they're going to tell you they don't want it. In fact, they came to America to avoid that. So why is America embracing it? America is embracing it because some people are just willing to try anything because, oh, well, let's just break it and build something. Maybe this other thing will work. Those who refuse to learn from history are doomed to repeat its mistakes. Those who refuse to learn from the mistakes of others are doomed to make those same mistakes all over again. The surest form of insanity is to keep doing the same thing and expecting different results. I'm talking about socialism, communism in those countries. It hasn't worked. Democratic Senator Lisa Blunt Rochester did not have an answer for the CNBC host. Tell me where socialism and communism would have worked. She avoided the question. And that's a great thing about the representative democratic system in America. They're answerable to the people. The freedom of the press, we ask the question. If you don't answer the question to our liking, the majority, we'll vote you out of office. And that's what we need to do with Rochester and those like her that want to bring socialism and communism into America. Let's talk about immigration into America. The Supreme Court gave Donald Trump a couple big wins yesterday on 63 votes along party lines about asylum and temporary protective status. Judge Alito says you cannot apply for asylum outside of the United States because of this one word, in, I-N. U.S. law says that you have to be in the United States to apply for asylum in the United States. Under the Biden administration, you could apply for asylum in America if you were in Mexico. Their in was, I guess, wanting to be in America, so you can mail your request in. Well, Justice Alito, in his wisdom on the Supreme Court, said, no, you have to be in America to apply for asylum in America, so we're going to kick those asylum claims out. Also, in the issue of temporary protective status, Judge Alito and the Supreme Court on a 6-3 vote said that the Trump administration can turn away asylum seekers and also can end temporary protective status. Temporary was never meant to be permanent protected status, but temporary protected status. And temporary protected status can be ended for 350,000 Haitians and 4,000 Syrians. Now, those who are compassionate and say, well, those are the 350,000 people that really want a better life in America. Let's talk about that for a minute. If we open our doors to 1,350,000 Haitians, 6,000 or 4,000 Syrians, where are they going to work? Where are they going to live? Who's going to pay for their health care? Who's going to feed them? You can't continue to have this unfettered, unhindered, unmetered immigration into America what are we going to do with these people? And who's going to feed them? Who's going to pay for that? Well, the American taxpayer is. Well, the American taxpayer, you are taking a chink out of the gear of what makes the American economic system work, because you're sucking it dry with taxes. Oh, we'll bring all these people into America and we'll just tax the rich more, tax the rich and give to the poor. I call it the Robin Hood theory of economics. It doesn't work. Because eventually the rich people are saying, hey, you've taken all my money, I worked hard for this, I'm going to go somewhere else where they don't steal all my money. We can't make government a license to just take and redistribute just to everybody. Because eventually those that have the initiative and the gumption and the work ethic to make will quit making because they're not rewarded for it, because it's taken from them and given to people who don't work for it. That's the guts of why socialism and communism don't work. You're rewarding people for not working. They can just stay at home and play video games. And young Americans, you need to realize this. Two things I mentioned. Those who refuse to learn from history are doomed to repeat its mistakes. Okay? And the surest form of insanity is to keep doing the same thing. Let's roll out socialism again. Let's roll out communism again. Didn't work in Cuba, didn't work in Venezuela, didn't work in North Korea, didn't work in China, didn't work in Russia, but it's going to work now. The surest form of insanity is to keep doing the same thing and expecting different results. What else are we going to talk about today? America is celebrating its 250th anniversary, right? Happy birthday, America. Fox News survey. This is interesting. I found this very, very interesting. 2 questions. Are you proud to be an American? And are you patriotic? All right. All people in America, are you proud to be an American? 53%. Are you patriotic? 70%. Now, wait a minute. I would love to have been part of that conversation and see exactly how the question was asked. Because you would think that if you're proud to be an American, you're also patriotic. So if you're not proud to be an American, but you're patriotic, I don't understand the definition there. So I would have loved to have been part of that survey to find out just how that question was asked. I'll have to do a deeper dive into that. All Americans, 53% proud to be an American, 70% patriotic. Democrats, proud to be an American, 27%. Patriotic, 61%. So you're patriotic, but you aren't proud to be an American? The Republican Party, 83% are proud to be an American. 87% are patriotic. Now we're getting to the crux of the matter here. The GOP, bless their hearts, not perfect party by any means, but they realize that proud to be an American means being patriotic. It's a party of common sense. Are you proud to be an American? Yes. Are you patriotic? Well, absolutely. I just said I was. I'm proud to be an American. That should equate to patriotism. Independent Party, 42% are proud to be an American. 82% are patriotic. So I'd love to have a conversation, and in fact, we're going to start another website because we don't have enough, called An American Conversation, or AmericanConversation.us. AmericanConversation.us. We want to have a conversation with America about American, with America about America. And part of what's driven that is the results of the survey. So you're patriotic, independent. Let's take a look at the independents, because the disparity between the 2 questions is interestingly large. Are you patriotic? Independent voters in American Fox News survey, 82% patriotic, but only 42% are proud to be an American. So what are you patriotic about? You are patriotic about what exactly? So you're not proud of America, but you're patriotic. I don't understand that. So we're going to do a deep dive on that, both on our Street Level America website, usaheartbeat.com, and this other site we're going to start called and AmericanConversation.us. The AmericanConversation.us website is going to be this. We're just going to have a discussion. We'll throw a question out there, be different questions and different topics, like does socialism work? And this website is just going to be a conversation piece. And we're going to be asking people to join us in the conversation. Let's talk about this. So you want socialist democracy, you want socialist DSA, the Democratic Socialist Party. You're saying they need to have a seat at the table. In fact, there's an earthquake going on in the Democrat Party right now. The mainstream Democrats are saying, we want the free market, free enterprise system in America. We don't want socialism. But you have some in the party that seem to have the most energy, the most enthusiasm, especially among young voters, saying, well, let's just try socialism. Most of the world's greatest generation, the people that fought in World War II, are no longer with us because it's been so long. Most of them have died. What do you think they would say? And we'll have to see if we can find a World War II veteran, or maybe a Korea or Vietnam veteran, but especially a World War II veteran. If you're a World War II veteran, I want to hear from you. Send me an email, dave@streetlevelamerica.com, dave@streetlevelamerica.com. What do you think about us voting in, as the Democrats, not us, but them, voting in socialists? We fought wars to prevent communism or socialism from having its way with the world, and now we're voting it into office. What do you as a veteran think about that? You watched your friends die on the battlefield because you were preventing communism and the opposite of American democracy, the Constitution, the guarantee of rights. Under communism and socialism, there are no individual rights. It's for the greater good. And for the greater good, they'll take the money and redistribute it. And you can say, well, that's just to make sure everybody's fed. Well, no, because at the crux of it, you take away the initiative of people to work hard. You take away the initiative of people to work hard, people will stop working. That's the reward, the benefit reward. If you're working hard and you don't get anything from it, and your neighbor is sitting on his butt watching video games all day, you're going to say, hey man, I'm working 13 hours a day and all my money is going to the government, and you're sitting at home playing video games, getting a guaranteed income. I think I'll just crack a soda or a beer and I'll play video games too, because I'm tired of working while you sit on your butt and do nothing. That's the problem with socialism, democracy, socialism and communism. And that's why it doesn't work, because eventually everybody understands that they're not being rewarded for hard work, and the hard work stops, and initiative stops, production stops, everything stops, because nobody is motivated to work, because you can sit on your butt and the government's going to pay for it. Somebody is going to pay for that. Margaret Thatcher wisely said, socialism stops when you run out of other people's money. Socialism stops when you run out of other people's money. We have to be insane as a country to think that this is going to work. So this talk about a Big Tent party, come on, man. Let's talk about what to do with the homeless. In Sacramento, there's a homeless camp that costs $2.5 million to build, and it's going to cost $1.2 million a year to operate. $1.2 million a year to operate a homeless camp in Sacramento for 125 people. Do the math. $2.5 million divided by 125 people. There's a couple of problems here. Number one is that doesn't make sense financially. Number two, if you take people off the street that have drug issues, that have mental health issues, if you don't fix those or deal with those problems, and you send them in a fancy tent with fancy showers and say the taxpayers are going to pay for it, but you don't deal with the underlying reason why they were homeless in the first place, they're just going to have a better tent to live under, and do their drugs and do whatever. That's the problem with giving free needles. You need to get to the root problem of why they're not functioning members of society. And if you just kind of put a Band-Aid on it and say, we'll give you a better tent, we'll give you free showers, you just continue to be homeless, you're not a functioning member of society. You can say, well, that's okay, that's their choice. Okay, again, back to our argument about socialism, communism. If you just continue to pour free money into people's lives without them working for it, you disincentivize people for working for it, and eventually the wheels come off society because everybody realizes they don't need to work to get income from society. Socialism crashes when you run out of other people's money. When those people get tired of working and you benefiting and them doing nothing, that's when it crashes. And we cannot go down that road here in America. What has made America the juggernaut it is? What has made America the financial and economic powerhouse it is? It is because, I believe, of freedom. It is because of the freedom to have a dream and the freedom to excel, the freedom to make a profit, the freedom to be rewarded by your work. That's what's made America great. Russia, China, they've had lots of people. They've had lots of natural resources. Why have they not exceeded to the point that America has? Because in America, you have this thing that fuels the human spirit, this reward for work, this reward for initiative, this reward, hey, I've got a great idea. I think I can do this, and I can do this, and I can make money, and I can prosper, and I can build my company. And there's this feeling of achievement. Ask any entrepreneur, why do they do this? Why is it making money, or is it just building something? And you're going to find, I think, all of them, or most of them, it's just this challenge of making something great. You take that away, and you've got Russia. You take that. Russia, in the Ukraine war, remember the convoy? And they were looking at it from the satellite, and they were trying to wonder why this convoy wasn't moving. And they were thinking, well, this huge convoy from Russia is going to attack Ukraine. It was broken down. The trucks wouldn't start. The tires on the vehicles were rotten. The wheels were falling off. Do you really want that for America? You destroy the economic engine of America when you disincentivize people for working hard and getting a reward for their initiative, hard work, and their businesses. We can't do that. If we do, we'll be just like them. People who refuse to learn from history are doomed to repeat its mistakes. What else are we going to talk about today? We need to continue to pray for Venezuela. Latest count, at least as of the recording of this, 235 dead, 4,300 hurt. America and others are sending search and rescue and help to Venezuela, and as we should. And one of the things that we can learn from this tragedy is the human compassion to want to help. Countries from all over the world are sending help to Venezuela because we see them as humans in need. And back to America as a rich country, if we have wealth of which to help others, that's another incentive to continue this free market system where we can generate wealth to help other people. You have to look at why America is successful, why America is wealthy, much more than everybody else. Why is that? Do you want to kill the goose that laid the golden egg? If we want to continue to have this wealth to help others, we need to continue to keep the economic engine of America going. Yes, we need to help our friends and neighbors, but destroying the initiative and the reward of hard work is the key to what makes America great. And we cannot destroy that key. We must keep it working. Socialist Democratic Party is a bad idea. Bad idea. Louisiana Senator John Kennedy said, let me see if I can quote him correctly. He said, the Bolsheviks of the Democratic Party are a new era of stupid. And the more I listen to them, the dumber I get. I'll be honest. I love John Kennedy from Louisiana. Good old boy from Louisiana just says, hey, this is how it is. The more I listen to them, the stupider I get. And the Republican Party, he also said, the Republican Party is not perfect, but the Democratic Party is insane. Hear that work in the background? Putting a roof on next door? It's hard work. People out there working hard, making money, building, working. That's the sound of America's economy. That's the sound of America at work. And we want to continue to see those hammers going. We want to continue to see those bridges being built. We want to continue to see wealth being generated in America, because with that wealth, we can help other people. And you can say, well, we just need to tax the 1%. We need to take all that wealth and just redistribute it. You're going to kill the goose to lay the golden egg, because if you just take from those people to generate the wealth, you disincentivize them from making more wealth. And yeah, you can eat the goose today, but tomorrow you're going to not have any more eggs because you just killed the golden goose. That, my friends, is how socialism dies when you run out of other people's money. Don't repeat that mistake. All right? Cowboy up, America. A lot to talk about. We'll keep talking about it. We'll be here. You be there. Let's celebrate 250 years of America greatness. And it's not saying that we're better than everyone else. Look at all the athletes that came to the FIFA World Cup in America. They love it here. We love America. Hey, we don't understand what you guys are screaming about. We think this is a great place. So do we. Cowboy up, America. Let's ride. I'm Dave Adams. This is Street Level America. That's what I think.